This is my ranking of games like Replace that I've played, based purely on my personal experience. Each one is placed from masterpiece down to trash, depending on how strong the atmosphere feels, how smooth and impactful the gameplay is, and how well each game blends its story with moment-to-moment action. Let's get straight into the list. Deadlight is a side-scrolling platform game where I move through a ruined Seattle in 1986 as Randall Wayne, searching for my missing family during a zombie outbreak. I mostly run, jump, and avoid enemies, since direct combat is rare and dangerous. The focus stays on survival movement, where small mistakes often lead to instant death, especially when multiple enemies close in. The story unfolds through simple, illustrated scenes as I travel through streets, sewers, and broken buildings while learning more about Randall's past. The atmosphere feels dark and empty, supported by strong visuals and sound design that keep tension high throughout. Some sewer areas slow the pace and feel confusing to move through, but the experience stays short and focused without dragging. I place it in the great tier. The Ascent is a twin-stick shooter action RPG set in the cyberpunk world of Velis, where I fight through gangs, machines, and corporate forces while upgrading weapons and skills. Combat focuses on aiming, dodging, and fast gunplay, where enemy variety pushes me to switch weapons often for different threats like flying units and armored bosses. The world feels dense and detailed with neon lights, rain, and layered city design that makes exploration engaging. The story is not very strong or memorable, but the gameplay loop stays active for most of the journey. Later sections bring repetitive fights with difficulty spikes and rough checkpoint placement that slow momentum. Co-op helps smooth out these moments and makes combat more manageable. Despite issues, the core action and setting keep it engaging throughout. I place this in the excellent tier. Dex is a 2D cyberpunk action RPG where I follow Dex, a young woman with mind-hacking abilities who is being chased by a powerful organization. I move through a neon-lit city filled with gangs, shops, and detailed NPCs while upgrading skills and unlocking new abilities through quests and exploration. The world feels alive with strong side characters and smaller storylines, and many missions let me choose different approaches like stealth, dialogue, or hacking systems instead of direct combat. Hacking sections switch into a twin-stick style mode where I break into security networks for information and rewards. Combat feels weak in both melee and gunfights, with low impact and limited depth, which reduces tension during fights. Platforming can also feel unclear at times due to background confusion and tricky jumps. Even with these problems, the setting and quests keep it engaging. I place this in the good tier. Planet of Lana is a puzzle adventure game where I guide a young girl on a journey to find her sister after her village is taken by machines. I move through hand-painted environments that shift from deserts to forests and caves, solving puzzles balanced between challenge and flow. Most puzzles involve working with a companion called Mui, who helps distract enemies, trigger switches, and interact with the environment in creative ways. The world tells its story without dialogue, relying on animation, music, and visual storytelling to express emotion and meaning. The atmosphere stays calm but sometimes tense during machine encounters and escape sections. Puzzles keep changing in design but never feel overwhelming, allowing steady progress through each area. Movement can feel slow at times, but visuals and emotional journey keep it engaging throughout. I place this in excellent tier. LIMBO is a 2D puzzle platformer where I control a young boy who wakes up in a dark forest with no explanation of who he is or where he needs to go. I move through silent environments filled with traps, hazards, and strange creatures while solving puzzle-based sections. The game relies on trial and error, where mistakes often lead to instant and brutal deaths, but each attempt helps me understand the solution. There is no dialogue or text, and the story is told through visuals, sound, and atmosphere, creating constant tension. Later areas shift into industrial zones where puzzles become more complex, but the world feels emptier. The sound design plays a key role in guiding movement and building mood. The experience is short but impactful with a strong ending. I place this in masterpiece tier. ANNO Mutationem is a cyberpunk action RPG where I control Anne Flores, a combat specialist searching for her missing brother in Scop City. I switch between 2D side-scrolling combat and 3D city exploration, moving between fights, shops, NPCs, and side quests. Combat focuses on slashing, shooting, dodging, and upgrading abilities, with flashy attacks that improve over time. The world feels detailed and filled with characters, including allies, family, and a drone companion that adds personality. Side activities like investigations and minigames add variety, though the amount of content can feel cluttered at times. Combat sometimes feels uneven when enemies block progress or flying units are hard to handle, and movement in 3D areas can be slightly awkward. Even with these issues, the world building and style stay strong throughout. I place this in the great tier. Katana ZERO is a fast-paced action game where I control a nameless samurai assassin with time manipulation abilities while moving through neon-lit neo-noir levels filled with enemies and traps. I clear stages through one-hit kill combat, where timing, dodging, and bullet deflection matter, and every mistake resets the attempt so I can plan better. The slow-motion ability helps in tough situations but has limited use, making fights more intense and skill-based. The story unfolds through conversations and choices during missions, though most outcomes stay focused on dialogue style rather than major changes. The world features strong neon visuals, sharp sprite work, and an electronic soundtrack that fits the action. Combat feels smooth with strong flow and creative set pieces like chases. The story feels incomplete, but the gameplay and style stay strong throughout. I place this in Masterpiece tier. That's my full ranking of games like Replaced, based on how well they mix atmosphere, storytelling, and gameplay flow. Each title approaches cinematic, moody world design in its own way, balancing visual identity with gameplay impact across very different experiences.